Good morning, this is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated, Journato, morning headlines on December 31, 2022. Idaho murders. Update, suspect Bryan Kohberger charged as Moscow police hold press conference. I had to do it to save everyone. Letter solves school smashed window mystery, and reveals a snowstorm hero. Sky News, Buffalo man hailed a hero for saving lives during deadly blizzard. BBC, I had to do it to save everyone. Man commits desperate act in blizzard. CNN, a man saved a baby during New York's devastating blizzard. Meanwhile, the city towed his car. The New Republic, New York man speaks out after helping 24 people find shelter during Buffalo blizzard. COVID, travelers from China to need negative test to enter UK in government U-turn. The Independent, China COVID, England to require negative test for arrivals. BBC, China accused of covering up COVID data amid new variant fears. The Telegraph, travelers from China to require negative COVID-19 test to enter UK. The Independent, travelers from China to require negative COVID-19 test to enter UK from January. What happened in the Russia-Ukraine war this week? Catch up with the must-read news and analysis. The Guardian, has the war in Ukraine changed Russia? BBC News. BBC News, evidence of Russian crimes mounts as war in Ukraine drags on. The Independent, the seeds have been sown to end the war in Ukraine. The Hill, as war grinds on in Ukraine, investigators doggedly track crimes. 9,000 deaths a day in China as state media says travel restrictions discriminatory. The Independent, government's fault, Chinese hospitals struggle as COVID surges, France 24 English. France 24 English, long queues outside funeral homes as China's COVID crisis deepens. The Telegraph, China COVID deaths accelerate to 9,000 a day, UK research firm Affinity. Reuters, government's fault, Chinese hospitals struggle as COVID surges. Lula, Brazil progressives celebrate Jair Bolsonaro's departure. The Guardian, just how far right was Bolsonaro? DW, English, Brazil's Bolsonaro bids a tearful farewell ahead of Lula inauguration. France 24 English, lost a battle but not the war, Bolsonaro leaves Brazil, avoiding Lula handover. Hindustan Times, Schultz, Macron may visit Brazil's Lula in early 2023, sources say. Who is George Santos and why is he in trouble? BBC, Democrat targets, lies, of newly elected congressman with Santos Act. The Independent, will the real George Santos please stand up? Pope Benedict news, latest, ex-pope took part in mass in his room and rested well, Vatican says. The Independent, former Pope Benedict is stable and took part in mass in his room, Vatican confirms. Daily Mail, Pope Emeritus rested well overnight, health situation stable. Catholic Bishops' Conference of England and Wales, former Pope Benedict XVI stable and able to rest well overnight, Vatican says. Sky News, Pope Benedict said to be in stable, but serious condition. People were enraged, civil strike called in Bolivia after arrest of opposition leader. The Guardian, clashes in Bolivia after judge orders opposition leader detained. Al Jazeera English, Bolivia judge orders pre-trial detention for opposition head. The Independent, Bolivia opposition leader Luis Fernando Camacho kidnapped by government. The Times, Bolivian opposition leader held on terrorism charges. China COVID, France, Spain, Korea and Israel tighten rules. BBC, China bridles as EU states prepare to scale up COVID monitoring. The Guardian, Spain becomes second European country to announce COVID restrictions for travelers from China. Sky News, Europe curbs visitors from China, growing list of countries impose COVID tests, France 24 English. France 24 English, France reintroduces COVID tests for travelers amid fears of new variants in China. Ukraine's internet army of fellas buy sea drone to hunt Russian ships, and name it after celebrity raccoon. I think she's cool, Elon Musk praises Greta Thunberg amid Andrew Tate drama. The Independent, Greta Thunberg takes another swipe at Andrew Tate over pizza boxes after his arrest in Romania. Sky News, Greta Thunberg vs Andrew Tate, 6 times the Swedish climate activist out-trolled the Twitter trolls. Euronews, Greta Thunberg's response to Andrew Tate was a masterclass in dignity. The Independent, that poor little boy, Andrew Tate, terrified of women and humiliated by Greta Thunberg. WHO urges COVID data transparency as China prepares to open borders. The Guardian, COVID in China, officials must share data on its impact, says WHO. BBC, in China, here is what we want the West to know about our COVID response. The Guardian, world must be vigilant amid China's COVID reopening. Financial Times, worse than 2020. China's COVID decisions may ensure another wave. Bryan Kohberger, what do we know about the criminology student accused of quadruple murder? Sky News, Idaho students killing suspect arrested by police. Idaho killing news, US News, News 18 Live. CNN News 18, criminology graduate student held in Idaho student murders. BBC, why the macabre and harrowing Idaho murders case has gripped the world. The Independent, man, 28, charged with murders of 4 University of Idaho students. Ukraine hit by wave of Iran drones, officials. BBC, Russia fires missiles at Ukrainian cities, Ukraine military says 54 of 69 missiles shot down. WION, Russia unleashes 16 kamikaze drones on Ukraine in fresh wave of attacks. Evening Standard, Russia-Ukraine war, list of key events, day 310. Al Jazeera English, Russia continues kamikaze drone attacks, Ukraine says all 16 were downed. North Korea ends year with ballistic missiles launch. BBC, North Korea fires 3 ballistic missiles in latest tests. The Guardian, North Korea fires missile towards sea, South Korea says. The Independent, North Korea fires 3 ballistic missiles, Japan Coast Guard confirms firing of missiles, WION. WION, North Korea fires 3 ballistic missiles towards Sea of Japan. Trump News, Live, Trump tax returns reveal web of losses, write-offs, disguised gifts, and little charity. The Independent, Trump's tax returns reveal president's foreign bank accounts. BBC, Trump's tax returns, January 6 committee interview transcripts released. CBS News, opinion, Trump's tax returns are much to do about nothings. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.